Hello and welcome to In the Court of the Wenton King. Today we're doing bundles. That's a brummy, very brummy title.
Anything with a U in it's brummy.
Bundles. I mean,
Bundles.
it's not bandles, is it? It's bundles. Yeah, there it is. Pigeon Street.
Yeah,
Pigeon Street.
it's cool.
You won't know what that is, I bet you. Or maybe you will. Yeah, and the thing is, it's a different band really. There's only one member left from the original lineup. Mike Ratledge, and he actually left after this one. Actually, so the next album didn't have any original members on it. This is essentially the Carl Jenkins era, though. So he's kind of dominating. You can see by the writing that he's writing a lot of it. Apparently, it seems like they kept getting more band members from a band called Nucleus, which is quite funny because they must have just had a Nucleus left in the other band because they've all come in. The sort of stylistic link, they're starting with Toccatina. And the experimental progginess and the jazz stuff, the link with that is very tenuous. If you heard those three albums, you wouldn't realise it was the same band. I don't think people would realise it was the same band. Whether that's bad, I mean, I don't think it is, and the fact that the lineup changes, I don't think is bad either. I think the sort of belief in, as I've said before, that belief in the blood brothers forever and all that is nonsense. Band reunions are awful. And if they're not awful, it's okay. It's just okay, You've got to be fresh and you've got to keep moving and you've got to play with different people. So that's good, And obviously that you get bands where there's a special chemistry, but it's a very rare thing really, and it's massively exaggerated. So yeah, guitars have been added. Guitars. It's the first guitar since Andy Summers was in the band briefly in 1968. So in 68-75 there was no guitar in the band. So obviously, if you're going to do that, you need to sort of ease your way into the guitars, don't you? You don't want too much guitar. Just ease it in. No, there's two things you have to do. Two things. Number one, the guitar completely dominates the sound now. It's a guitar album. It sounds like guitar. And number two, you might as well get the best guitarist ever in. Obviously, it makes perfect sense. It gets compared to like Mahavishnu Orchestra, but it's not really like wild Hendrixy stuff. It's Holsworth, isn't it? So it's not that kind of thing. It's like Jazz Camel to me. Doesn't leap out, but it's good.
Much better effort all round, I think. Much more good.
Good, yeah.
Yeah.
It's good, it's nice to listen to.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like a prog album, and it feels like a good prog album, because you can get crap prog. Yeah, Camel was sort of one of the things that sort of came to my head a little bit towards it. But does that mean it's a bit derivative? Don't know. Don't care.
Yeah.
Because I had to sit through third and fifth to get here, so that's all right. Don't know what else to say really.
Yeah, this is the problem. I've said this. There's not much to say. But what's great about Soft Machine, obviously, is that we've done three albums that have absolutely nothing in common with each other. So that's interesting. That a band. What's a band? It's all Soft Machine. What is Soft Machine? It's just a thing, isn't it? I'm going to talk about the guitar playing. Surprise! What I really like about this, though, it's really early Holsworth. It's like proto Holsworth when he was just a child. You can see how far he progressed. You have to remember at this point he didn't really have that much belief in his own ability. Even though everyone else was, oh my god, he wasn't. And for that reason, obviously, he was dedicated to getting it right. And you compare this to, like, say, Hard Hat Area, which was the first solo album of his I heard, which is terrifying, absolutely amazing. That's 1993, I think. Probably his peak, I suspect. I think he's chilled out a bit as he's got older, so that's probably his peak. But this is almost like a normal mortal guitarist. It's feasible. It could be doable, and there's even really nice bluesy picking. That tone that's always there is there, and it shows how the tone is something that a guitarist has. It's just there in their soul, in the way they play. I've been watching the new Rainbow shows, Rainbow Reunion. It's not really a reunion because it's all new people, but it's actually half of Blackmore's Night. But these Rainbow shows on YouTube. What I do is anything like this, you can get the whole concert. People upload songs, but you can get the whole concert in reasonable quality sometimes. So I'm assembling a whole concert of. I think I'm going to do the second concert because it's quite good. So I've downloaded all that. But it's interesting. It really struck me how Richie Blackmore's guitar playing, the thick tone. There's a real link there with Holsworth, which is really interesting because it's much more pronounced here because he's not so scary. Later on he becomes, but that's really nice to hear that. How do you get there? That's how you get there. So that's really cool. But interesting that they're bringing guitar at this stage after 7 albums. 7th was the previous album. This is album number 8. Was it a commercial thing? Was it they've realised actually this idea of doing jazz wasn't commercially feasible at all, and they have to give up and bring guitars back in? You know, was it? I don't know. I couldn't find any information on whether they've revealed that or whether they just decided to go in that direction. And remember, I say that it's just different people, isn't it? So,
Yeah, well, maybe they are. Maybe they've had enough of sort of jazzing about. I thought, okay, let's make an album that people will actually listen to. Weird to do it in 1975, though. We're at the tail end of good then, aren't we?
Yeah. Although Camel are kind of current and kind of early stages, it's Snow Goose.
Yeah. So maybe they're just like a little one step behind everyone else. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's interesting what makes this good songs and makes Fifth is just playing. And there isn't that much difference, really, if you sit down and work it out. They're just playing a riff and there's a guitar solo. It's basically just a load of guitar solos. There is some composition in them, but somehow this is far more interesting as these are songs. I like that song, I like that song. It's not just, there's some playing, and now he's playing again, now he's doing some more playing. It's difficult to really pin down what the difference is, really.
Well, the difference is there's actually differences in the songs, yeah?
Mm.
Whereas, sort of like Fifth, although they were different sounds, you have to really listen to pick
notice.
those. Yeah, it's sort of like,
Yeah.
it just gets all shoved under the umbrella of jazzing about.
Yeah.
Noodling here.
Yeah, you're right, it's quite diverse, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's quite a lot of different things, some very hard fusion stuff going on, particularly Hazard Profile.
Yeah, I mean, Hazard, I love that.
Yeah.
And, but you consider that, and when you go from part 5 to Gone Sailing, which is like a little
Yeah, it's lovely.
bridging piece, it's fantastic.
Yeah, and Holsworth being acoustic again with God Sailing is really nice. Hazard Profile's interesting because obviously there's 5 parts and they're not particularly linked, but there's a kind of reprise at the end, which is kind of a variation on the theme of the first bit. So they are separate tracks, but they do fit together. So it is a concept piece rather than a single piece of music, which is how it's presented. It's not presented as one thing. It's presented as 5 parts, which is really cool. Track 2, it looks like it's credited to Toccatina and Jenkins. But it's not. Toccatina is a small toccata. I think toccata just means a bit of showing off. I think that's actually what the word means, or a bit of demonstration of dexterity. So that's interesting, and it certainly is. I like Floating World, although as it starts you think, oh man, this is great, 7 minutes of this, and not a lot happens. The first bit is the whole thing, and it just goes on. But I do like it though. The title gives away the style of music it is, I think.
4 gongs, 2 drums. That sent shivers down the spine.
Oh yeah, that's the drum solo. Of course it is. Yeah, very Brufordy drum solo. Very undisciplined type thing. Really, really interesting. And you can't contrast that with the drum solo on the previous album, which was drum solo. That's indicative of the difference. There's interesting things happening. They're trying stuff happening rather than just I'm going to play now. We've run out of things to say now.
Yeah, because
It's an album.
it's a prog album.
Yeah, it's quite good. It's 4 eggs. It's the prototype 4 egg album because it's good.
Do you reckon you're going to listen to any more Soft Machine?
Well, one day I might, but I mean, I haven't got the first 2 albums, so I'll probably do that first before anything else. There's also these sort of reunion bands, not called Soft Machine, called the Softs and various different things, variations on the title. But of course, when Rob Wyatt left, he sort of not kicked out, but disagreed. Musical differences. His band called Matching Mole, which is really good as well. It's actually a variation on in French. You translate Soft Machine to French, it's Machine Mole. So he called the band Matching Mole. So Rob Wyatt is worth checking out as well. I don't have any of those albums.
It's a whole little thing to explore there.
Egg.
Yeah, 4 eggs.
Yeah, it's obvious. There's nothing more to say. Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, we will be back next week for the Mars Volta, 1 album. Francis Lemute. That's French.
Nice.